Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Northern Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Northern Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's up, guys? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, back from chasing Hurricane Ida. Happy to be back in the studio with you all, giving you all your daily hail forecast. Sponsors are, as always, C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. They are awesome guys. They help make these videos possible, so go ahead and check them out in the description provided. And for our weather today, we've got hail and wind chances. Hail, wind, and tornadoes are all possible through the northern plains. And then we still have our wind and tornado chances along the east coast associated with the remnants of Ida, so we'll talk about that. And then into tomorrow, hail chances are pushing southward into the central plains, so through the Nebraska and Kansas area. And then last but not least, you guys know the drill, we're going to check in on the tropics. We've got the remnants of Ida, we've got Tropical Storm Larry, we've got Tropical Depression, I forget even the name of it through here because we're moving through them so fast. And then we've also got a new disturbance sitting in the Caribbean. So we're going to talk about our tropical chances for the next 2 to 5 days. But before we get into our weather, we're going to go into our upcoming events. So this is the Thunder Road Race for Recovery. If you guys are new to us, then this is an event that we are putting on here at Hail Trace, and all of the proceeds of this are going to the charity Roofers in Recovery. So it goes to a great cause, and we're going to be racing go-karts, and these are not just your average go-karts. These go-karts go fast. So if you guys want to make sure you are the fastest roofer in town, you can sign up to race for this, or you can also sign up to sponsor. Both of those options are available in the Linktree link provided in this video as well. And this one's going to be at the Oklahoma Motorsports Complex in Norman, Oklahoma on September 15th. So right around the corner here. Make sure you guys get signed up for that. And then yesterday, we had a little bit of storm activity through the West Coast as well as up in Utah, but most notably, our storm activity was through the East Coast, again associated with Ida as it continues to weaken over land. Got a lot of wind reports along here all the way from Georgia up into Virginia, with a couple of tornadoes here and there reported as well. And that looks like it's going to continue today as that storm continues to push up off of the northeast and off of the east coast, continues to weaken, but we could still see some gusty winds and tornadoes along with that. We're going to get into it in a moment. But let's take a look here at our current conditions. So mostly gorgeous and clear across the country right now, but along the east coast, different story, guys. So again, this is what was formerly Ida. We are sitting in a tornado watch through this area right now. We actually look like we have a couple of severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings moving through the Virginia and Maryland area right now, just associated with some of the isolated cells that pop up along with this rotate produce some short-lived tornadoes and then die out through the area this afternoon. So this is going to continue this trend throughout the afternoon and evening hours as this continues to push up northeastward, spinning up those tornadoes, producing those gusty winds here and there. And again, continuing to weaken. Conditions should continue to improve as time goes on and conditions get less favorable for this storm. However, this complex is going to keep going throughout this afternoon, producing much of what we're seeing here this morning. And then off into the northern plains, Rapid City and the surrounding area is going to be where we're getting our hail and wind chances for this afternoon. And right now, not looking too menacing. We've just got some scattered showers here moving through the Rapid City area as well as western South Dakota. Cloud cover across the area. Mostly pleasant through there right now, not too much to speak of in terms of storm activity, but we do have a trough that's getting ready to push through, and there's a little bump in that trough, and all that does is stir up some storm activity with the more favorable environment ahead of it. So as that continues to push its way eastward this afternoon and evening, that's going to stir up some storm activity through this area. Then temperature-wise for the country, gorgeous for most of us. 72 in LA, a low 59 in Portland. Denver sitting at 80, 93 in Dallas and Houston. So pretty warm and muggy through this area, a little drier, you guys know, once we get west of the Rockies. But then out east, we're sitting in the 70s and 80s. And we do have a cold front that's sitting through this area, bringing us some nicer conditions up to the north. But down south, we're going to be hot and muggy for another few days. I'm considering it the first day of fall, even though it's not actually. It's pretend fall, but I'm just going to tell myself it's here. The temperatures are going to be warm and muggy, though, so it doesn't feel at all like fall through this area. Then for our future radar, so like I said, we've got that little bump in that trough that's going to stir up some storms. So here's what that's going to look like. So quiet start to the afternoon, more of those just general rain showers through the area. But then by 6:30, check this out, guys. We've got 1, 2, 3 of these isolated cells that are going to start to push northeastward through the Rapid City area. It may stay just to the east of you guys. We'll see if it can hit Rapid City tonight. But we'll see a couple of those moving through the area. Those are going to continue to push northeastward. And then by 10 p.m., again, we've got a couple of isolated storms, but more we're starting to cluster together into a storm complex. By 10 p.m., that's more favorable for subsevere hail as well as gusty winds as that continues to push northeastward. And then just some really loud thunderstorms, messy thunderstorms, lots of rain, lots of lightning. But we're tapering off on our severe chances into the overnight hours by 3:30 a.m. as that continues to push northeastward. Then for the East Coast, again, looking a lot like what we're seeing right now. This Ida, the remnants of Ida is just going to continue to push northeastward, kind of spin away through the area. So this is by 4 p.m., so just a few hours from now. We've got, again, very similar to conditions to what we're seeing right now. So some isolated scattered thunderstorms all the way from South Carolina up into Maryland. Any of those could spin up, producing some possible spin-up tornadoes as well as gusty winds with any that collapse, and you get those downdraft winds. And so we could get some gusty winds and tornadoes through this area as well as up through the New York and the DC area as that continues to push northeastward along the East Coast. This is by 7 p.m. Still seeing those isolated storms all along the East Coast. And then that's just going to roll on through the evening hours. This is moving through New York City into the late overnight hours as well as the early morning hours. And then by 6 a.m., we're up in the Boston area, but we should see most of those scattered storms move off of the East Coast into the ocean. So you should see, like I said earlier, conditions start to improve into tomorrow morning. Which leaves us with our hail forecast and our wind forecast for today. Starting out with hail, not looking at much along the East Coast. You guys have heard us say it here before. Tropical systems are usually warm core events, which just means that it's too warm for that hail to form up in that storm. We need that cold upper air for that rain to freeze in, and that's what we've got along the northern plains right now. So $1 to $0.50 anywhere from South Dakota into the western part of Nebraska, and we do have a little bit more of instability in this orange swath area, so that's where we could get our ping pong to golf ball sized hailstones. Only crazy big city in that area is going to be Rapid City, and again, you guys are on the far western part of that swath. So if those storms can form far enough to the west, then you could get some $1 to $0.50 sized hail, possibly even larger with those if they can get far enough west. However, it looks like they're going to form to the east and then move up to the northeast of you guys. So looking like $1 to $0.50 and low end chances for you guys in Rapid City, and then mostly rural through this area. And again, this orange swath is going to be our ping pong to golf ball sized chances through the western part of Nebraska and the southwestern part of South Dakota. And then for our wind chances for the next couple of days, or for today, and then we'll get into tomorrow's severe chances. So we've got wind chances and tornado chances all along the East Coast where Ida is right now. And then we've got our severe wind chances possible in the northern plains, along with those storms that we're going to see rolling through tonight. So if you guys are along the East Coast, Charlotte, storms are looking pretty scattered where you are, so the likelihood of one hitting you is pretty low, so we're going to keep you in a low-end chance of gusty winds and tornadoes for today. But then once you get up into Richmond, into Baltimore, into New York, that's where we're starting to see the frequency of those storms pick up a little bit as we get into more of the core of that system. So through there, you guys could get a moderate chance of some strong winds, maybe up to 60, 70 miles an hour with those, as well as tornadoes, again, through Richmond all the way up into New York City as that system continues to push off to the northeast. And then for our northern plains risk, again, Rapid City on the far western side of that. The rest of us are going to be pretty rural through this area, through central and western South Dakota and western Nebraska here. Any of you guys could also get possible tornadoes with some spinning storms. We saw those isolated cells moving through early on, so a couple of those could produce some tornadoes as well as some gusty winds, and then once those cluster up, then we really get that wind chance through that area into tonight. Then for tomorrow, hail chances are going to push south, so we could see it more in our neck of the woods if we're in Kansas or in southern Nebraska here. So this is by 7 a.m. Just really loud thunderstorms for the most part moving through the area, and then we're going to have a pretty quiet afternoon. But then once we get into the evening hours, so this is by 4 p.m., once we get that peak heating and all that energy, those storms that are around start to really blow up. So that's what we're seeing here through northern Nebraska here. We get some pretty isolated storms moving through the north central part of the state. Any of those could produce some pretty good hail. And then that's going to continue to move off to the east, really blow up, and then we start to get more of lines of storms, so we could get some gusty winds, but we still do have hail chances through the area with any of those isolated cells starting to move through northern Kansas at that point by 6 p.m. Those are going to continue to roll on into the Omaha area and the Lincoln area by 11 p.m. More of a wind threat and sub-severe hail threat by that time, but we still could see a quarter or two as it moves through, according to this model run. And then those are going to continue to push off to the east as more of a bow. Lots of loud storms again, maybe some gusty winds here or there. But again, it's 5 a.m. We don't have a whole lot of that energy left for those storms to ride off of. So again, mostly just loud storms at that point. Which leaves us with our hail forecast for tomorrow. Surprise, surprise, it's going to be through Nebraska and Kansas. $1 to $half size hail available anywhere through that area. Just not a ton of instability at this point that we're looking at right now. So leaving you guys for a yellow swath. We might update you to orange tomorrow depending on if we get a little bit more daytime heating through that area, a little bit more instability. So if you guys are in Lincoln or Salina, those are the two noteworthy cities that have big populations through there. So we're putting you guys on there in a low end chance through tomorrow afternoon and evening for $1 to $half sized hail, as well as gusty winds. Any of this is also a gusty wind threat for tomorrow. So that's what we got for our land risks. Moving off into the ocean. So I'll step over here so you guys can see this is Tropical Storm Larry. So we are at L right now. So moving through those names pretty quick, guys. Right now we're sitting at 50 miles per hour. So we add our tropical storm force. Moving westward at 22 miles per hour. So Larry is booking it off to the west right now. Pressure's sitting at 1,001 millibars. So still waiting to work its way down there, but it does it pretty quick. Check it out. This is so we are in a different time zone here, but this is by Thursday. It's going to ramp up to 75 miles per hour, Category 1 hurricane at that point. And then as it continues to move off to the west, we're sitting at 85 miles an hour, still a Category 1 by Thursday, and then it's going to ramp up to a Category 2 by Friday. Again, remember that this is South Africa Western Standard Time. This is not Central Time, so it's just going to be Friday, not necessarily Friday morning, that we see 105 miles per hour, Category 2 hurricane, and that's going to continue to start tracking to the west-northwestward and then off to the northwest. Now is a Category 3, so this could be our next major hurricane that we're seeing. Tropical Storm Larry could ramp up to a Category 3 hurricane by the beginning of next week, 120 mile an hour winds, so that's definitely no joke, but fortunately it's going to stay in the central Atlantic, and as Frank said so wonderfully, it's just going to be hitting fish, so not a whole lot to worry about with Larry quite yet. We'll see if that can move far enough northwest and maintain its hurricane status to possibly hit the northeast coast, but right now that's looking very unlikely, very unfavorable conditions through there. So mostly this is nothing to worry about, but it could possibly be our next major hurricane for the year. And then for the rest of us, not seeing a whole lot of tropical disturbances. I think we have Kate that is in the Atlantic, and that is still a depression. And then we have Larry, remnants of Ida, and then we have our next tropical disturbance here sitting through the Caribbean that is expected to move to the northwestward here. But it could scoot too close to land, and that's unfavorable for those hurricane conditions. Got lots of nice warm water, but that's not going to do anything if this is moving over land. So that's going to be that dry air that doesn't really help it form. So for the next 2 days, 30% chance of hurricane or tropical formation for the next 2 days, 30% again for the next 5 days. But we are going to want to watch this as it is expected to move over the Yucatan Peninsula and then up into the Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to keep an eye on it just in case it does anything crazy. But right now, 30% for the next 2 and 5 days. And that's it for our crazy weather for the next couple of days, guys. We're going to keep you all updated on our severe hail and wind chances as well as the tropical chances that we're seeing for the next week or so. But if you guys want to stay tuned to those severe chances, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. And as always, smash that subscribe button on YouTube so you never so you never miss us when we go live. And then if you guys want to contact us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. If you would rather, you can email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out our awesome website, hailtrace.com, for more details on who we are and what we do. And we will, as always, keep you guys updated. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.